Okay, sekarang bisa.
Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
so I can see your beautiful
Welcome.
face.
Terima
Good
kasih.
morning, Dr. Harwati.
Okay.
Sama-sama. So,
Alright.
I would like to introduce you to the audience. So, Dr. Harwati Hashim is come from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, from Malaysia. So, she will present for about 20 to 30 minutes. So, Ibu Dr. Harwati Hashim, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Miss Zulidiana, right? I can call you Miss Zulidiana. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, very good morning to all speakers, audience, presenters, participants, organizers, and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank everybody, especially the organizer, for the invitation. I was informed I have 30 minutes more or less to present. So I have prepared my slide on I would like to share on addressing the role of education in economic development by empowering learners' roles through technology. First of all, again, thank you very much. My name is Harwati Hashim. I am the Deputy Dean of the Undergraduate Studies at the Faculty of Education, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Perhaps a little bit about myself. I am currently a senior lecturer as well as a Deputy Dean. My research interest is on mobile assisted language learning. I am so much into education. But however, because we believe the role of education is very much important, nevertheless, in the economic development of countries, as well as in when we talk about sustainable goal, SDG and whatnot, and we hope education field is not too left behind. Okay, so today, for the purpose of this presentation, I would love to share on the role of education in economic development, especially in empowering learners' roles through technology. All right. Probably before we begin, I think everyone has seen these sustainable development goals. This is very familiar to everybody, to all participants, and there are 17 goals being highlighted under SDG. But among others, of course, when we talk about economic development, we talk about sustainable economy, when we talk about sustaining the development of the country, we cannot run away from this one goal, which is on quality education. And because of that, undeniably, the responsibilities or the roles of education is very much important in assisting or complementing the development of a country. Okay, so probably because this is only half an hour, so there are a few things I would like to share actually, but I would like to focus on when we talk about education, there are so many things that we would like to focus on, but however, I will look into how technology plays an important role in what we call reimagining the learners' roles, so that our graduates, especially because I'm teaching in universities, so we look forward as integrating technology as one of the way forward for us to prepare our graduates to be future-proof graduates as well as future-proof what you call as labor markets, especially in the development of economy. So I would like to highlight on the growing importance of technology in education. There are so many things that we would like to look at how technology help our graduates or our learners to prepare themselves in becoming compatible workers or becoming excellent graduates labor market. So one thing for sure that we cannot run away from technology is we undeniably that the benefits of using technology in education is to improve learning experience. So sharing about efforts that we have done at our university level, especially at the Faculty of Education. Here in University Kebangsaan Malaysia, our team is peneraju inovasi pendidikan, being innovative in education. So therefore, we look forward of having or experimenting various use of technology in education. And one thing for sure that is actually proven in many studies done by us, that it improves learning experience, because we believe that digital simulations and models help students to understand better. I think this is something that is proven in many research, that one benefit of technology is that it improves learning experience for our learners. And because of the pandemic as well, as in Malaysia, this is already almost 1.5 years of our movement control order, and now we are getting better. We are coming back to the faculty, all faculty members, but still learning has to be conducted online. So almost 90% of our courses and classes are conducted online, and therefore we have ample opportunity. We are taking it as a great opportunity for us to explore and experiment with technology, especially in the area of education. And we believe that lessons are in a more strategical manner if we were to use technology, because we have multimodal experience, we have text, we have audio, we have videos, we have so many resources for us when it comes to technology. And another thing that we would like to highlight is that why technology is because it enhances students' engagement. And we believe that by using technology, it is able to reduce communication gaps between, not just between the students and the students, but also the students and the lecturers. In fact, the students and the content. It is very much important when we talk about preparing our students or our learners to be competent in the global market, in the global labor market. We look forward to having our students to be experiencing authentic conditions or authentic a situation whereby if they were to be given any task, it is supposed to be something that is relevant in preparing them for the future job. So therefore, we believe that by using technology, it really enhances students' engagement with the content, especially. And without doubt that we have more opportunity for real-time or asynchronous engagement with the learners. It is not just about within the classroom setting, but learning could be happening anywhere. And online collaboration is without doubt could be leveraged by using technology, as well as we have proven that in our studies, technologies do improve retentions of new concepts, because in some conditions, concepts are very much difficult to be understood. So therefore, with the use of technology, students are able to have a better retention of concepts when it comes to learning. As I mentioned just now, preparing our learners or our graduates into becoming a more competent worker in the future, we believe of having authentic content or authentic materials for learning. So therefore, with the use of technology, we somehow we found that the use of technology provide authentic and contextualized learning. So it's very much easier for us to make learning more contextualized because now it is no longer being constrained by the four walls. Students can move beyond classroom setting. Learning can be beyond university, beyond faculty. It can also become global at the same time. So it enhances on-site learning. How? Basically by visualizing, representing complex procedures using digital tools. So there are so many digital tools. And talking about our learners and our new generation, they are the the expert of it, because they are not just technology savvy, but they are beyond technology savvy, because they were born with it, with the technology. And this provides real world activities and problems, because it's very important in preparing our graduates to be competitive when they go out or when they graduate, when they get into the industries. They are able to accelerate the process without having to learn as if like they have no prior knowledge before coming into the industry. And another advantage of technology, we believe, is that it promotes autonomous learning. And It gives some access to live streamings videos online to be understand for students to understand ideas, subject or concept, and it is very much easier for the students to keep track of their own learning progress. This is very important because talking about preparing our learners, they should be trained to be multitask worker. So at the same time, during their study duration, we do believe in training our students to be able to keep track of their own learning, because it is not just about learning for us at the University Kebangsaan Malaysia or National University of Malaysia. It is always about how the students are able to provide whatever they have learned in the real industry. Meaning that we have a lot of service learning. Like for us, we are in the education faculty. We do a lot of service learning. So therefore, students are not just limited within the classroom setting or what we call as the gallery or the Zoom setting, but they need to go out to see the real people, the real community, for them to deliberate, for them to give service what they have learned at the university and see the real audience. So therefore, it takes a lot of monitoring own learning progress. And with that, it is very much, they have very much autonomy of their own learning, and they are now in charge of their own learning. So the roles of the educators, especially the faculty members at our faculty, at our university, is very much of facilitating, coaching, as well as mentoring what they are doing with the community, with the industries and whatnot. And I think this is something that is, you may call it cliche, because without doubt the use of technology allows anywhere and anytime learning, because it has no boundaries. Students are able to learn at their own pace, and actually it can be accessed by any device or any platform. Here at the Faculty of Education ourselves, we have a lot of platforms being used with our learners, not just talking about synchronous and asynchronous, whether it is real time, whether it is something that is not real time. We do have our own learning platforms. We have other platforms as well. We do use various or multiple platforms, not just one platform for us to deliver, as well as for the students to learn. So there are a lot of ways of doing it. They are learning on any device. We call it LOAD, learning on any device, and also LOAP, learning on any platform. So that's what we believe as learning should be happening with the help of technology at the Faculty of Education, UKM especially. And in preparing learners to become a competitive global labor market, we should also think of the use of technology as to accommodate diversity of learning, because looking at how industries work now, we do have a lot of new job coming in. We have drone pilot, like for example. We do have people who manage data and whatnot. So it takes a lot of effort for us to understand and to accommodate diversified learners, learners who are of different background, learners who are of different learning styles. And that makes learning become personalized. So with the help of technology, it helps us very much to come up with a personalized learning with our learners. And we do find that the use of technology help us to address equity in terms of genders, in terms of social background, economic background. We do call ours as B40, the middle income group as B40. And therefore, a lot of studies being done on how to calculate this B40 so that we could address equal opportunity in learning, especially when with the use of technology for learning at universities. And we believe that there has to be equal learning opportunities. And this brings back to SDG just now on quality education. We have to also address on equal learning opportunity, regardless of whether students come from different socio-economic background and whatnot. And And of course, coming back into how education may complement economic development, it is always about educators' role. So we cannot run away from educators' roles before coming into tapping on the students' issues. It always brings back to educators' role. What it is always about is how do we go about educating our learners and preparing them to become a competitive graduates labor market in the future, and in the end able to contribute towards the economic development of our country. Number one is to how to empower learners' roles. There are a lot of what we call efforts or attempts that could be done on how to empower learners' roles. One thing for sure is making education or making learning from mere engagement to intelligent engagement. We are not just looking at how to make students interact as in mere engagement, but how do we move beyond just engaging to intelligent engagement? Because we look forward into, this is fourth industrial revolution. Soon we are about to embark fifth industrial revolution. We never know what come after, and the future is so unpredictable. We have so many uncertainties in the future. So therefore, learning should involve something that is not just mere engagement, but we have to move beyond that, which is what we are trying to do now, is to look into intelligent engagement. That's what we believe that helps the students in and for us to reimagining the learner's role. In intelligent engagement, the learners themselves should be able to absorb learning. It's not just understanding and digesting, but they are able to absorb learning. It has to be something that is energized. The learners themselves need to be energized in terms of engaging with the content, engaging with the community, engaging with the learning, engaging with the industries. A lot of energized focus on it. And it needs deep commitment. So our learners or our graduates is not just giving themselves full commitment for their learning, but also the commitment of serving the nation. So that's what we want our graduates to have, that kind of what we call spirit. So deep commitment in the sense that whatever they have learned in the university, at the university, they need to contribute back to the country. So in intelligent engagement, we look forward of having research activities, programs that is very authentic for our learners, and to be able in the end to contribute to the country. And a lot of exploration when it comes to intelligent engagement, as well as problem solving, a lot of inquiry-based learning. Students should be able to make a lot of inquiries, very critical in that sense, a lot of questions. So that in order for them to become innovative and inventive, they have to have this inquiry-based skills and whatnot. And knowledge building is very important, regardless of whether they need to go out from the classroom setting, whether they need to be serving the community, or whether they need to be attached to an industry. Knowledge building is very important, and that moves beyond mere engagement to intelligent engagement. And again, I would like to highlight, you keep on listening me highlighting authenticity, originality, because we look forward of preparing our learners not just in ideal context which were built in the university, but actually the real context that they will experience outside when they are in the real world, or when they are embarking into the global market, in order for them to help the industries, or in order for them to help the economic development. So the more learners are engaged with the technology, the more chances for learners to empower learning. That's what we believe, because it is always about technology nowadays, and we cannot run away with that. And if you notice, I put a drum set over there. It's not for us to play drum, but it is more of orchestra thing. Because when you want to play drums, that represent our learners. If you want to be a drum player, I don't know, maybe among our participants, you know how to play drum very well. When you want to play drum, it takes a lot of multitasking. You need your brain is working with different instructions. One hand tapping on one specific instrument, your other hand, your legs. So a lot of things going on by just playing a drum. So therefore, that's what we want our learners to be able to do, to be multitasking at the same time. Definitely, of course, knowledge building is very important. with the use of technology, definitely. So what are the key considerations that we have taken? Actually, I am sharing based on what we have done before, things that we have experimented with our learners with the use of technology in helping us to achieve and preparing our learners to become future-proof graduates. What we have done so far is a lot of things. So these are the things that we would like to share in terms of key consideration when it comes to integrating technology for learning to empower learners. So number one is choice. When we want to use technology to our learners, with our learners, the choice of technologies is very important. The choice, the task, and the rubric, the technology, the task, and the rubric itself need to be aligned, need to be given careful consideration, because it is not just about the technology, but it is more of how technology helps in fulfilling or achieving our objective just now, which is preparing our learners to become competitive in the future. These are some examples of things that we have done with our learners in the use of technology. Here, as you can see from the picture, from the photo, they are using one tools in on iPad, which is called GarageBand. So they are composing songs to learn a content. So this is what they are doing. And we do look into how learners can develop. If we were to have the chance to come over to University Kebangsaan Malaysia to the Faculty of Education, we will look how we experiment with technology. We do a lot of creation with our learners because we believe the highest order thinking skills, which is creation. So we do a lot of creations activity with our learners. So students are sometimes being requested to create things such as gamifications and whatnot. This is also one of the ways of how we make our learners learn. They use a lot of visualization, a lot of visual note taking, not so just what do you call lecturing, but very much of various ways of using technology. And then this is one example of augmented reality. How do we use augmented reality in education and help us to move from mere engagement to intelligent engagement with our learners. This is also one of the example of video production created by our learners, produced by our learners, and so all examples that what we have done with our learners. Okay, showcasing is very important when it comes to learning with technology. Make the students showcase what they have done. They should be able to find real audience. So how to showcase? They may want to showcase. Yeah, I saw someone raising hand. Am I out of time? Sorry, and am I above time, or can I continue?
Oh, yes.
Thank you, thank you. So we should also prepare our learners to be willingly and to be able to share whatever they have created with the real audience. So whatever they have, like what we have done with our students, whatever they have created, they need to share in Twitter or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or whatnot. And it will not just stop there, but of course it takes a lot of reflections on whatever they have done, because then only knowledge is built. It's not just about creating, but after the creation, what's next? So it takes a lot of reflections with our learners. We have to sit down with them and take out whatever they have in their head, and how do we go about measuring. So a lot of what do we call debriefing going on. So we have to debrief together with the learners what you have done, what are the challenges, what are the things that you think that could be done better, and how does this contribute to the community, to the society, or to your target audience. So a lot of reflection going on with our learners. This is one example of how do we go about having our reflections with our learners, not so much of delivering. What we can say that the lecture is not so much giving content, but more of getting the content from the students. So we do a lot of reflection and mind mapping, note taking, And I myself, if I were to share, I'm into visuals. I'm a very visual person, and I do a lot of visual activities with my learners. So this is one example of what we had previously. And the learners themselves, not just the educators, the learners themselves should learn to be self-advocate. They need to be able to become an advocator. They need to advocate on what they have learned. Nevertheless, not just within the classroom setting, what they have learned at the faculty or university, but they need to be able to self-advocate when they are outside with the community, with the industry, even though they have not yet graduated from the university. So we are giving a lot of push factor to our learners. So in preparing them to become future-proof graduates. This is one examples of how we go about discussing things with our learners. And these are some of the programs are actually being developed by the learners, serving the community. You can see a lot of authentic materials produced by the learners. This is on teaching, because I'm actually my background is actually teaching English as a second language. So I'm into TESOL. So therefore, I'm teaching pre-service teachers, student teachers who are becoming teachers in the future, focusing on teaching English language. So these are some of the examples of programs or serving the community by the learners in teaching writing. Okay, these are among their, just sharing some of their posters, how they go about promoting their activities to the real audience using Facebook, using Instagram, using Twitter and whatnot. Okay, so it's very important also for us to discover learners' learning styles. How do we discover learners' learning styles? It is either they are auditory learners, either they are visual learners, or either they are kinesthetic learners. So this is very important for us to get to know before using technology with our learners. So it's very much important for us to identify, because we want learning to be personalized. So it's very important for us to get to know who are our learners at the beginning, on the very first place. Understand meaningful learning, of course, to make education relevant. How do we go about understanding meaningful learning? These are some examples of how we go about having authentic contextual materials with our learners. You can see, even though it is during the pandemic, we can still construct experiments at our own place. So students are given instructions. So what they did, they need to record and share in our Telegram group, so that we can see, and then we can make reflections on how do we actually what are the things that we have reflected upon the activities that we have done together. These are some of the examples that I'm sharing. In the end, meaningful learning, these are the elements that we need to consider to make education significant. It has to be active, it has to be collaborative, it has to be conversational, contextualized, reflective, intentional, and constructive. And therefore, learning is meaningful, and it helps our learners to move beyond mere engagement to intelligent engagement. And this is also one thing that I think I should share, because blending the right recipe between TPAC, SAMR, and Bloom's taxonomy is very important in education. This is what we at the Faculty of Education is trying to move towards preparing our graduates with the use of technology. So we look so much on technological, pedagogical content knowledge, and how this move from surface learning to deep learning. As you can see at the bottom, the diver, how does the diver move from just using the life jacket? This is representing our learner to learning in a more meaningful way, and it takes SAMR, which is technology as substitution, technology as augmentation, technology as modification, or technology as redefinition. Then we move beyond, we move towards having higher order thinking skills for our learners. Then only we believe that our learners are able to contribute in becoming competitive global labor market. Okay, slip of tongue, sorry. All right, so what are the main key takeaways? I'm almost finishing. Probably if you have questions, you may want to ask question after this, or you can just put it in the chat box. I'll be able to answer, don't worry. So what are the main key takeaways that we have learned from our own experience, from our stories that I've shared just now? Restructuring learners' roles is very important, as in how do we go about complementing the economic development from the perspective of education. So it's very much about restructuring learners' roles. Meaningful learning with technology is very much relevant with the help of technology. How do we go about preparing our graduates to become future-proof graduates? And we do believe in getting the students with this sets of skills, yeah, at the end of their graduation from the Faculty of Education, Mr. Kebangsaan Malaysia. We hope that our learners to be able to inquire with technologies, to be able to experiment with technologies, to be able to design with technologies, to be able to communicate with technologies, to be able to build and collaborate with technologies, to be able to write with technologies, to be able to do modeling with technologies, to be able to visualize with technologies, to be able to assess learning with technology. So a lot of this could be too ideal, very ambitious, but at the same time, it is a long journey, and we do hope that this could be done with our graduates. That's what we are expecting, because we believe we need to prepare them for the top 10 skills of the future. This is what we have taken from World Economic Forum for 2025. They need analytical skills, they need active learning, complex problem solving, creativity, originality, leadership, social influence. Is quite a lot of social sharing going on. Technology is there, resilience is there, tolerance, flexibility, reasoning, and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of things going on. So, as I said, it may be too ambitious, but this is what one of some of the efforts for us to move forwards, yeah, in preparing our graduates to become future profile. These are the faces of my learners, just to share with you. The faces of my learners or my students. And I think with that, thank you very much for lending your ears, for listening attentively. I hope it is very beneficial for everybody in what I have shared today. So if anything, feel free to email me. This is my email, just to share with everybody. So I think, thank you very much. That's all from me. Over to you, Ms. Diana. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing the ambitious and idealisms that you share. It's very inspiring. And we have one attendance raised hand, but we will have a discussion panel after all of the speakers presents their speech. So for the next speakers, I invite Ibu Rita Ambarwati from Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. Ibu Rita.
Halo. Hai.
Ibu Rita.
Oke. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Could you please share screen? Is it works well with your share screen?
Okay. I'm sorry, I can't off my cam because I use tethering from my handphone, and in order to make my channel stable. This is okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Is it clearly? Do you see my presentation? Okay, thank you.
Yes, it's clear. Okay, Burita, the time is yours for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then after that, we will have discussion.
Okay.
Silakan.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Alhamdulillah. Welcome all the speaker, participant, and organizers. And first of all, I would like to thank to the committee of second virtual conference of social science in law and political issue and economic development by temporalizing society 5.0 for a better life. For this opportunity to share our little knowledge, I feel proud to be a part of this occasion. Hopefully, it will enrich your perspective on research in this field of study. We also hope that this session will open the opportunity to collaborate with the other researchers, and my focus research is about marketing and operation management. Okay, let me begin. My presentation is about present and future SMA in Indonesia. It should be noted that the effects of this pandemic are being felt by entrepreneurs, especially SMEs. Therefore, I want to discuss a few things that SME can do to survive in a pandemic. First, I discuss about how to analyze customers and competitors, and next, second, a discussion of a few marketing strategy that SMS can do, and third, the discussion related to the creative economy and the pentahelix strategy innovation model. Okay. We discuss about the customer and competitor analysis. The starting point to define how the current customer is this answer is not always obvious, as there might be many actors in purchasing and using a particular product or service. A customer is a person who has purchased something or engaged in some form of exchange transaction. And consumer is a person who consumes or uses some things. For example, as in purchasing canned milk for children, the customer are parents like father or mother, but the consumer are children who drink milk. Who is the customer? Customer can be initiator, influencer, decider, purchaser, or user customer. A useful way to approach customer definition is to recognize 5 main rules that exist in main purchasing situation. The initiator is who he needs the search for a solution to the customer problem, like child asking parents to buy something, and the influencer are all these individuals who may have some influence on the purchase decision. Is maybe like beauty influencer on Instagram or other social media, and decider is some individual will actually decide which product or service to purchase. For example, as like a purchasing manager will decide to purchase which product or service that use the company. And the purchaser is the individual who buys the product or service that hand over the guys to buy. And user and the end user of product is the individual who consumes the over. Where different people undertake the various laws, it may be necessary to adopt a different marketing approach. It's maybe looking for different benefit in the purchase and consumption process. This consumer buying process, we talk about customer buying mechanisms, is composed for several steps and is influenced by a set of factors composed of the customer personality, perception, attitude, and retailers promotion efforts. From social influence, marketing influence, and institutional influence. Consumer by influence and step one from need of reconnection. The buying process begins when people they have some unsatisfied needs. Need recognition in most cases in strive for what? When individual find a shortage of something or goods required which is of daily use. For instance, there is no will milk in the kitchen, and external stimulus may arouse a need such a desire to visit a part of a store while purchasing other user items. Step 2, information search and alternative evaluation. Under this state of the customer buying process, a customer seeks information about potential retailers that can satisfy his needs. Generally, customer shortlist 2 or 3 retailers, and finally the one after evaluating their offering and prices. This is SC when one alternative is superior to the rest of the option available. And step 4 is purchase decision. All the seller effort let customer to choose the brand at the purchase phase of the buying journey. The seller can still lose them if they don't offer a smooth checkout experience. And the last is post purchase evaluation. Now it is time to seller to gather feedback. The seller who also wants absolutely they wants to ensure a shopper remain customer for as long as possible. It's all about retention if the seller truly wants to increase sellers. And all of this, we must understand the customer. We must know the answer of the key question. A certain of this text is that most markets are segmented. In other words, different identifiable groups of customer require different benefit when buying or using essential similar product or service. Identifying who the various customer are and what role they play then leads to what gives them value. For example, there is a child who wants to buy or purchase a chocolate bar. The child could be initiator or decider. The user feel happy because they can feel the sensory experience by feeling his stomach. However, the parent as be influencer that gets a feeling of having stirred the child in the direction of a product. We must to answer the key questions, what they are their choice criteria, when do they use the product, why do they use the product, and where do they buy, how they use the product, and who is involved in buying and consume. Okay, this is about the competitors. The steps in analyzing competition divide 3. First, identifying the competitors. A competitor targets the same market segment as you with a similar product. Once you have identified your main competitors, you'll want to gather as much information as possible about them, such as product and service, pricing, positioning, and branding on market reputation. And the second, we must assessing competitors, competitor objective strategies, strength, weakness, and reaction patterns. You can list your competitor and write out their respective strengths and weakness. For us, the example, are they popular because of their location, visibility, the quality of their staff, are their prices too high, or does their product like a key feature that's demanded by your target customers? This analysis will give you an idea how you can adapt your strategy to counter their strong points and take advantage of their weak points. And the third step is selecting which competitors to attack or fight. Another way of looking at it is that it's important to keep tabs on the competition and improve your business in response. But you shouldn't allow concern about what others are doing communicate your strategy. This is dimension to of competitor analysis. Four main stages in competitor assess competitor current and future objective is about understanding what the competitor is setting out to achieve, can give clues as to the direction, and it will take an aggressiveness with which is it will pursue that direction. And second is assess competitors current strategy by understanding absolutely the strategies used by competitors in pursuit of their goals and objective. The firm can identify opportunities and threats arising for competitive action. And the third, assessing competitors' resource. Competitors' asset and capability profiles show what they are currently able to do. Those resources may not be fully deployed at present, but can give further clues as to how the competitor will move in the future or how the competitor will react to threats. And for we can predict a competitor future strategy by combining the above analysis. The firm can begin to answer perhaps the most fundamental question in competitor analysis, like what is the firm likely to do in the future? This is I explain about the strategy. The essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. Maybe like we can do a different marketing promotion to make our company can promote more better. 7 steps success to global market. First, in Indonesia, we can say curation. 5K, yes, kualitas, spot standard quality, kuantitas, kapasitas, capacity, and continuity, kontinuitas, and packaging or kemasan. And the all of the curation is assessment to know aspect of production, marketing aspect, operational, and financing aspect. And then the entrepreneur must have product development, design legality, packaging. We must make a packaging that good, certification and labeling, branding with promotion, marketing, and trade mission, and make a transaction and delivery is easy and on time. And the last, we can help buyer satisfaction. This is a few SME marketing strategy. They can make an interesting product, understand the target market, make unique packaging, and do the right promotion, highlight product advantage and customer service related to service quality, maybe, and open network opportunities. Take an approach to consumers and creating a product website, and the last is consistent in strategy implementation. This is the 7 basic types of positioning strategies. We talk product characteristic or consumer benefits. In using this strategy for positioning, the focus is on quality. It addresses the brand's durability, dependability, reliability, and style. And pricing. This positioning strategy is focused on the relation between price and quality and the customer perception of the value of a product. Use our application. When a brand, reaches a largest market or change the purpose of the brand of product, positioning based on use in functioning. Product processes. This is when a brand is associated with a specific user or class of users. Endorsement by famous personality or product influencer are example. Repositioning based on the application will help a brand that is already positioned to expand by sharing the market. And the product class is this consists of positioning to related products in the same product class simultaneously, resulting in increased customer base. And cultural symbols. The objective in positioning based on cultural symbol is to identify something like a symbol of very meaningful to people that have not been used by competitors and harness in to associate your brand with that symbol. And competitors is as a frame or of reference to different a brand is another type of positioning. Positioning in your brand against competitors is an obvious challenge on quality and assert that your brand is superior with a competitive edge. We already know the types of promotion like direct marketing, personal selling, advertising, public relation, and self promotion. And we can do promotion through blog, social media, YouTube, and email. But there is three keys of strategic positioning. Customer. Central to positioning is knowing your focus by identifying what the buyer wants and needs. Research to see if there is a problem customers and need and a solution for and what needs they might report via surveys, interviews, and reviews. And listening to buyer needs and placing a high importance on those needs is pivotal in getting customer attention and loyalty. Channel or your or sales team is central to understanding customer needs and is where you will likely find the majority of information for successful positioning. Your channel is a direct connection to the customer, and through their experience, you can get information such as the customer profile, customer problems, competitive intelligence, and the purchase process. With experience in the entire sales case, channels will help you identify brand strength to effectively focus your positioning strategy on what you do well as a brand. And competition is a final step in formulating a product position is paying attention to your competition and their position. If your positioning statement is effective. This is a promotion for your online business is must be capable of attracting market attention quickly, promotion can maintain consumer loyalty and can help increase brand awareness and to increase product sales potential. This is some the most effective promotion ways that always used in the marketplace or another social media, like give discounts, free shipping, over cashback, holding flash sale, buy one, get one free, giving gift, rewards points, and distributing voucher or promo coupon, provide warranty, holding holiday promo, provide product tester, over special price for wholesale purchase, and share giveaway. Okay, and the last, and we talk about the creative economy products. What is creative economy? The creative economy and the creative industry are unified concept that is interconnected and continues to develop with an emphasis on creativity as its mindset. So, so the relationship between the creative economy and the creative industry is close. Without the creative industry, there will be no creative economy, resulting the economic movement of country that will not develop. The creative economy is one of the most rapidly growing sectors of the world economy and a highly transformative one in terms of income generation, job creation, and export earnings. This is the subsector of creative economy, includes 16 subsectors. Architect, design interior, visual communication design, product design, film, animation, videos, photography, craft, music, fashion, application, game, developers, publishing, advertising, television and radio, and performing arts. This is example about the fashion. This is Tex Savario, is a Indonesian fashion designer whose work is glamorous and full of fantasy. His craftsmanship has been known to the international scene until they were worn by Hollywood celebrities. And the next, the other designer is Hengki Kawilarang, who has many proud achievements, and he's often involved in international fashion events. This is the food and beverage from Indonesia. There are coffee, sweet potatoes, and pasta rendang, and maybe other products that have a distinctive taste, and SME are able to compete in the international market. This is craft from Indonesia, and this is a home interior decoration of the Bugis silk pattern theme. This decoration is in great demand and has been exported to foreign countries. This is a film from Indonesia that has achievement in international films and is included in Hollywood films. And this is animation. You know the Minion and Upin Ipin film, which are the work of Indonesian people. And these are Indonesian musicians who have achievement in the world arena in this performance. And Angklung played in mass board. And the innovation model of pentahelix can give many solutions. The current pentahelix strategy approach is urgently needed to develop SMA by involving the participation of various parties for the sake of the realization of the progress SMA. In the development of SMA themselves, it is necessary to cooperate between stakeholders. Elements of the government have political power for how to formulate a policy. Through interim decision, society or community is referred to as social power. Synergy concept, this pentahelix is urgent to do to avoid overall policies and programs among interested party in the implementation of post-pandemic economic recovery. Okay, I think that is all. I do hope that my presentation is useful. If you have anything to ask, please feel free to ask me question about this presentation. And I appreciate your attention, and the time is yours, moderator.
Thank you, Ibu Rita, for the presentation and the ideas of the pentahelix. It's really great. Somebody will talk about it later. But we have already several questions. We have two questions. So I think the first question delivered to Mr. Bobor. How do you think about the obstacles by designing a concept in tourism after the pandemic? So it's probably a forecasting thing.
Yeah.
What factor, in your opinion, but what factors will be your most consideration, Mr. Babur? And the second question is, I think it's delivered to Bu Harwati, I think, because at the beginning you mentioned about SDG. What skills then the most important to be delivered to students in all ages? This would be based on your opinion and experiences. So, Mr. Babur, you can answer.
Yeah.
And then continue with Bu Harwati. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, after pandemic, there could be one more time increase because people need to visit their destinations. People need to go to places in order to meet with other, let's say, mates, and they need to participate in some, let's say, conferences, seminars. Actually, it will be a little difficult to come back on that level. According to statistics, that level which we faced it before in 2019 and 20, it will be, let's say, at the same level on 2025, because until that time there will be vaccination, there will be, let's say, lots of cases that government will take care. But what I'm thinking nowadays, there will be virtual tours, virtual tourism, and local tourism will be improved in places. Better to pay attention on local tourism or tourism from neighbor countries. And there should be in each hotel or in each place or in borders or customs, there could be very strict and serious control of vaccination, control of, let's say, testing of coronavirus. But if government pays attention on different factors, then they can come back on the same level. For example, in Uzbekistan nowadays, what we are doing, people when coming as the same with comparing with other countries, which person comes in Uzbekistan, it doesn't matter. 14 days there will be quarantine time, and there are strict rules in borders and in customs. So why are you coming? You need to bring your test result. After that, government will pay attention at hotels and accommodation services. They will also pay attention. And after this, in that level, in destination, if everything is okay, if testing and let's say masks will be used, I think in some years it can come back. But it's up to place, it's up to destination. Destination should take control of this situation. If in situation there is good atmosphere, there is no risk, then people visit. If no, people not visit. And this all could be end according to World Touristic Organization, WTO, and World Economic Forum. They have stated that that boom, which we faced before, we can face one more time only if in 2025. Before that, no. It will be difficult before that.
Okay, nice answers to think about. So those are the strategies and the things that we have to consider before we plan or build a new concept of tourism. Thank you, Mr. Bobur. I hope Mr. Tariq Maulana, who becomes the deliver the question, already satisfied with your answer. And the second one is for Bu Harwati. For Bu Harwati, please, time is yours.
Thank you so much, Ibu Zulidiana. Regarding the question just now on if I were to repeat which skills is important across age, right? I mean, from young learners to probably high school learners as well as graduates. I would say that, of course, we have to bring back the idea of basic literacy skills. Number one is the ICT literacy is very important, talking not just about the ICT itself, but the current technology literacy is very important, and as well as the language literacy. Because if we were to predict in a few years' time what job is irreplaceable, will not be replaced by the robot. One of the job is translator, yeah, believe it or not, even though we have software tools which can translate, we do have Google to translate, we do have other software to translate, but believe it or not, translator is one of the job that is irreplaceable, will not be replaced by technology. So language is very much important. If we were to look at the other skills, would be, if I would highlight for the young learners, we would love to see young learners to be able to have high adaptability skills. This is also very important, not just to young learners. It has to be trained from young. It is definitely very important for our graduates now, because we have so many uncertainty, world of uncertainty. We have COVID-19 now. I hope there's no COVID-20 or whatnot. But with that, adaptability skills is very important, and that very much related to resilience, to be able to survive, and of course other skills come after, such as critical thinking, and being innovative, and not to forget being able to communicate is also very important. When we talk about communication, it also relates to negotiation, it relates to human management and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of things. I hope it answered, but if you were to ask me at the moment, what most important is the language literacy, current technology literacy, as well as adaptability. And then other skills come after that. Yeah. Inshallah.
So the three things that is most important. Yes.
Yes.
Even I don't have any idea how to educate an adaptive generation because there are also many unexpected things going around after this pandemic, and that's a very clear answer. Thank you, Ibu Harwati and Borbur. Mr. Borbur. And then now it's there are two more questions, I think. Um, how about you said this for Ibu Rita Ambarwati, I think.
Yes.
How about the terminology of user? Is it including in consumer or customer? Would you give more explanation about this? Because the terminology of user actually is the term that used by social media and drug dealer. Somehow, I agree with this. Somehow it contains negative perspective about this terminology of user. Silakan Ibu Rita, could you please answer it?
Okay, thank you. I will try to answer. If we talk about a customer can be as initiator, influencer, it can be a decider, purchaser, or user. That is user can be a customer, can be customer. Maybe I can give the example. What user can be customer and what the user can be consumer. If you like coffee, you buy coffee, you can be a customer and consumer. But if you buy a can buy for children, if the parents buy, is the customer is parents, but the user or the consumer is our children, is different in some case. And it's about social media and drug dealer is customers can be influencer, at least all those individual who might have some influence on the purchase decision. It's like beauty influencer maybe, and they can give a positive perspective and negative beyond the experience they use the product or service. I think this enough to answer. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so apparently the last question is also for you. So in Indonesia, the old generation still don't understand about the digital marketing and try to persistent with their old traditional selling. What we have to do you have any ideas how to overcome these issues? It's related with marketing, so I think this question will be on Ibu Rita. But if Mr. Bobo wants to answer, it would be my pleasure to listen to the answer from you too, Mr. Bobo.
According to what?
Yes,
Decide
according to us.
it's also marketing, right?
Which
Somehow
question?
it
I
also
couldn't hear.
connect with the business.
Can
Yeah, Bu
be
Rita probably
can be
will answer.
customer or can be entrepreneur. It's different. If the entrepreneur can be joined with the community, I think this if we have the all of the old generation, yeah, and be as from young generation is as be customer is maybe a lot of YouTube you can see and you can try. That's it.
Yeah, it could be. It could be both of them. In my point also,
Okay,
both options available from early childhood. I agree with you.
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Bobo.
So the answer about user, so I can conclude that user is close relate with consumer, yeah, Burita. Yes,
Yes,
it's
close
more
to
related to the
end
consumer.
user.
Yes. Okay. I saw someone raise hand previously while Ibu Harwati presenting. For those someones, I could remember the names. Would you please raise hand one more time? Or we still have a couple of minutes, but before that, I would like to invite the raising hand. But if not, I would invite each of the speakers to have, the last line or the closing statement for each of you. And I really want to hear the first from Ibu Herawati. Silakan Ibu for having the closing statement before we close our conference today.
All right, thank you so much, Ibu Zulidiana, to the organizers and to all speakers as well as to all audience. I think to summarize what we have, what I have shared today is basically on undeniably is that education is very much important, not to be left behind when it comes to economic development and sustaining the development of a country. And because of that, education itself, we have very much great responsibility thinking of how to prepare our graduates to become competitive, to become prepared for our global market, our labor market, and to be able to contribute to the nation. So, but if it's definitely, it is not just the educators, but it is the responsibilities of everyone. So we look forward to have also industries, communities to come together to contribute to the what do you call, the empowerment and the enhancements of education, which eventually helps the countries to develop as what being suggested by SDG. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Harwati. And the next closing statement will come from Mr. Bobor.
Thank you, dear. It was very interesting to join on this conference, even if it is virtual. I got lots of ideas from these other speakers and also questions. Still, people asking questions, and I think it's very interesting for them to join. And we got today many, let's say, points according to competitiveness, not only on tourism, on education, and let's say on learning too. And it was very interesting, and I hope that all findings and results of this conference will be very beneficial for organizers and for participants, and I hope that next time it will be continue in more bigger level and with more speakers and with more participants, and it will be broad. And I hope these kind of events will help us to shape to be as a global citizen, while let's say getting ideas not in local scale but also in worldwide and global scale, and hope that it was very interesting to each participant. And thank you for inviting, and thanks for participating and to be active from all participants. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for the closing statement, Mr. Bobor. And the last but not least, Bu Rita Ambarwati, please with your closing statement.
Okay, thank you, Bu Sulindiana. Okay, I think thank you very much for the committee for this occasion and this opportunity. And as a crisis conclusion, I would like to stress that last but not least, I would like to thank this all the generation or young generation must fight and must thought, and we must learn not about the successful of entrepreneur or the successful of some famous people, but we also learn about the mistakes that we can face of the problem that future can be adapted. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bu Rita. It's back to adaptability. Okay, for the last closing, I would like invite Mr. Tanzil to close officially.
Yeah, thanks, Ms. Juliana. Thank you very much for the speaker, Dr. Harwati, Dr. Wabur, Dr. Ambarwati, for the time and the knowledge sharing with us in here now. On behalf of all the committee from the Krishna Nusantara, co-hosted by Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo, hope we can still join this event in next year. We still make this VCOSPILED annual yearly in the November or December next year. Hope this webinar have some benefit for the student, for the participant in here, for the people that joining and watching our live in YouTube. I think this conference need to be held gradually. Yeah, we have Krishna Nusantara have another conference this year. We have another webinar we will hold in the last December this year. Hope you can enjoy this webinar. Thank you very much for the time and knowledge. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we go to the end of our meeting today in the second of virtual conference on social science in law, political issues, and economic development. And this conference or webinar is in collaboration with Relawan Jurnal Indonesia and Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. On behalf of the Master of Ceremony, I would like to deliver a very grateful for everyone, especially the panelists, the speakers, the committee, and all the participants. Thank you so much for having time with me today. And last, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Bu
Bye,
Barawati.
Mr. Babur.
Bye.
Dr. Herawati.
Bye, everyone.
Terima kasih. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. I also ask permission to leave. Thank you. Pak Dudu, silakan di end meeting.